here.
Is it icy again?
hmm
Yes.
Here, I don't know. It like sleet, a lot of sleet last night.
Yeah,
All right,
everything
Sleet,
y'all.
froze here too.
sleet
Go,
thunderstorms.
go message all your people and tell them to get on the call and turn their cameras on. It's going to be incredible. Today's going to be awesome. I'm excited to talk with you guys today. It's funny, our business, before I get into the page of the book that we're in today, I've noticed that our business is super uh it's not streaky is not the right word, but I think you know what I mean. And I'm saying streaky of like riding waves of momentum. Like you have a lot going on and then not a lot going on, then a lot going on and then not a lot going. And it's just kind of this back and forth. And I've noticed over the last month or so, after like 3.5 years in the business, that you being me, need to stay focused in those times where it doesn't feel like there's as much going on. And when you stay focused on setting your three and communicating with your new people, everybody put new people in the Zoom chat, your new people, not your old people, your new people. What happens is that downward like feel that you have is gone very fast, right? Like you all of a sudden start to get more momentum. I'll just give you a prime example of that. Like, Monday, Tuesday this week, one of my mom's older guys, Preston, he's been around for a while, but he's actually just like starting to be willing to get trained and like actually being coachable. So there's another nugget of not to like give up on good people, right? Like my mom told me, like he's a good dude, like spend time with him, he'll be good. And he finally is figuring it out. He's made $1,000 this month already. Well, like in February, not like in it's still January's cash flow, but February's month, he's already made almost a grand, like just under $1,000 in a week. And so, but for me, I override almost nothing on that. It's 30% override, right? So like it's not that much. And so anyway, my point being, like I felt in the beginning of this week, like, okay, we got some stuff going on, but like there's no traction here. Like I gotta get back to moving again. And Sarah, I just shifted my focus from going and making sales to going and recruiting directs. And you know what's crazy is I have 7 direct recruiting appointments between today and tomorrow. Last night we picked up a recruit for Wyatt, who you guys will some like Mel and Jerome got to meet him and my mom while they were here. But like he's local, like he's excited. He told me after the recruit appointment last night, Leah. I called him and asked him like, "Hey, what'd you think?" He's like, "That was great." He's like, "I just wanted to see how that went before I scheduled a bunch more." He's like, "I have a lot of other people I want to recruit, but I just wanted to make sure like it made sense in my head of what we were talking to them about before I scheduled more appointments." I was like, sweet. And so we got him a recruit. He's got $1,000 in premium. We're gonna get his dad out of a whole life insurance policy tomorrow, where there's 20 grand in cash flow after paying over $1,500 a month, Dion, for the last year, or sorry, last 20 years. 20 years into this policy with 19 grand to show for it. And he's paying his premiums about to go up. And you know what? I'm gonna show you this stupid policy real quick. I'm sorry. And then I'll read this page to you because no, never mind. I lied. I won't. Jerome, let me talk about this policy tomorrow night on training, please. This policy makes me so angry. It's like guaranteed to lapse. It's crazy. It literally says the guaranteed lapse day, and the guaranteed lapse time. It's like this is when it's going to lapse for sure. And then this is when it's going to lapse, best case scenario. It's like, so either way, best case scenario, this thing's going to lapse in like 15 years. Worst case scenario, Arden, it's done in 5. Like you pick, do you want to keep paying $1,500 a year and know for sure you're not going to have life insurance in 15 years? Or would you like to get a little bit more coverage and let that money grow for you, right? Anyway, you got to love the crusade. That's my point to all of that. Is like when you're in new markets with new people, you run into new stuff and it gets you refired up for the business again every time, right? Like when you're down in the dumps, like there have been many times in this business where I'm like, man, this is frustrating. I don't want to keep going. Like I have all the same thoughts you guys have, by the way. It's just discipline that gets you to keep moving, right? And I got to the point where I was just frustrated, a couple months ago, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna go recruit a bunch of people. Sent a bunch of messages. Been working on recruiting Wyatt for 2 months. Why? He's 19. Why in the world do I want to keep? He kept asking questions, so I kept responding and just checking in and following up with him. Now I didn't let that consume. I didn't wait, Sarah, 2 months to recruit anyone until Wyatt joined. He was just one of the people in my notes on my phone of people that I just continued to follow up with every so often, right? So just be excited, right? Remember that there's gold on the other side of every recruit. You got to see it in them and you got to speak it into them and you got to help them bring it out of themselves. Not everybody's going to let you do that. So hopefully that was a good little tangent for you. So our topic is field training. I literally thought I was doing full timers today, so I'm reading this for the first time with you all today. But the topic is field training, which I was just talking about. So Dion ends up being relevant, right? Get the new recruit in the field fast. That's number one. Get your new recruits in the field fast. So that appointment with Wyatt's parents last Friday, I recruited him the Friday before that. Okay, so when Jerome and Mel and my mom were all in town before that builder's school, or it was Thursday before that, maybe, I don't remember. It was one of those days. I recruited him that night, right? And then we did his orientation the next day, and the day after that, he set that appointment for the following week, right? So he set that appointment further out than I wanted him to, but that was when his parents were available. So we got him in the field very fast. Like Lacey on Dana's team, she's got a lot going on with work and end of month stuff. She'll be popping back up next week. I believe you'll start to see her. She's got a couple policies she wants to do. Yeah, Jerome basically recruited him, honestly. Jerome was talking to him a lot in the car. But like she got in the field right away, right? Got to district leader, right? Like she's gonna be, I believe she'll be a stud. It might take her a little bit of time, who knows, but she got in the field quick. Guys, look at everybody think about your best people in the business. Did you get them in the field fast or slow? Did you have to like hold a gun to their head and be like, "Hey, set your appointments"? Or did they just listen because you explained the orientation well and you went through the process with them? Right? Now, not everyone's going to move fast and you have to be like emotionally okay with that. But you need to be willing to just run that process with them, right? Get them in the field quick. You want to try to have this is why we do the social media posts, by the way, because you can get them in the field recruiting within a day or two if you do that. And that gets some excitement behind them, right? Number two, help your new recruit build their own team, right? Field train 7 to 10 wide and 4 deep. So let's back up. Number two is help your new recruit build their own team. And then field train 7 to 10 wide and 4 deep. So you want to help your new people get 7 to 10 different directs. Okay. Now here's the other kicker to that. They have to put you in front of people. Right. So it is a two-way. Every part of this is a two-way street. Right. They got to be willing to be coached. Right. If they're not willing to be coached, that's fine. But you as the leader, Sarah, when you bring in a new person, your goal is plug them into the life source, get them in the field, and get them 7 to 10 wide as fast as possible. Because if I get somebody 10 wide, there is no chance I'm not getting a district leader out of there. 100% of the time, if I would be willing to bet you my car, my vehicle that we transport our family to and from places in, that Leah, if you looked at my business and every person that we've gotten 10 directs for, I would be willing to guarantee you that we got them to district leader. I would be willing to bet you money that we got them to district leader. You just can't not, because when someone has 4 or 5 recruits or 10 recruits direct to them, you're going to go ahead and go through that, right? And even if they don't let you field train them through that volume, guess what? They're going to get their freaking promotions the hard way, but they're still going to get promoted. Right? Like there are people in our business right now who have contracts that they earn mostly from a team, multiple people actually. Preston is one of those. Preston got his district leader promotion 5 months into the business. Not in field training, even though it was still field training technically. It just wasn't his fast start. Right? So there's a little bit of nuance within all of this, but like the goal is you do all of this fast, but you can look at people that move slow and fast and the similarities are still there. 7 to 10 wide, 4 deep. Why do you need to go 4 deep? Dion, why am I trying to get 4 deep on somebody? I don't know what you just said because it's not muted, but I didn't hear you, but it looked incredible. And you're probably right because you were trying to lock them in, right? You're trying to lock them in. So if Sarah, think about it. Like, actually, I'll pick on Leah. So Leah, you're under Cass. Sarah is under you. Yes. You're not going to go anywhere. Why? Because Sarah's under you and she's going to figure this out eventually. Come hell or high water, she's going to figure it out. Sarah, I know you're going through it a little bit right now, but listen, the only way you don't win here is if you quit. If you stay consistent, you keep doing the things that you need to do, you keep setting your appointments 2 or 3 at a time, right? Guess what's going to happen? Eventually, you're going to find somebody in there, especially as you keep working on your mindset, you keep working on closing, you keep working on, you're doing all the right things, right? You just have to you got to cut your teeth here. You didn't do it somewhere else first, right? This is, you're learning business in Primerica. And so you just have to be willing to run that process. And yeah, mom, same thing with you. Look for studs. Right? I'm not messing around, farting around with everybody that Dana recruits on her team and that Karen recruits on her team. But when someone comes through there like Riley, who's like showing up, doing the right things, setting appointments, I'm calling them every couple of days and I'm checking in with them. And they're people that I put on my list of people that I'm watching and paying attention to what they're doing. Now I'm still talking to everyone. I'm still sending them messages and calls every like once a week and just checking in. But me as the regional vice president, and I bet Jerome and Mel do the same thing. Like they're looking for the studs in the team. Why? Because as a regional vice president, what's your primary focus? Put it in the chat. What is your number one goal as a regional vice president? What should it be, I should say? What do you think? Making more RVFPs, whatever those are, Dana. Making more RVFPs. your goal is to promote RVFPs. And so you got to find the ones that could be regional vice presidents and promote them and walk them through the process. I don't think Dana's going to be mad if she has a district leader under her team that's writing $5,000 in premium at all. She's like, great, this is cool. I didn't even have to do this, right? Someone else did. That's when you learn how to build this business, you're doing it the right way. Number 3, you must build field trainers as your new recruit numbers grow. So I can't even look at the chat. Y'all are unhinged this morning again. Shocker. So if you so look at Jarrell and Jackie's base shop right now. They have 50. They recruited 50 people last month. They did not do all of those. They have Shayla, they have a couple other people that have been around for a while that do 5 or 6, right? Like, and that's the cool thing. Like when you have teams, you decrease your own, I don't want to say decrease, you spread out the workload, right? Because you are allowed to continue to drive through your people. You get them licensed in insurance and investments, right? Like Leah, you're fully licensed in securities. You can write securities business now. Now you still need your 26, so do I, but you can write business. For all intents and purposes, you're a fully licensed investment advisor, right? Not advisor, sorry, investment advisor representative, my bad. So don't tell home office. But you're allowed to write securities business now, right? So you are someone who I would say, hey, Leah, I need help with this kitchen table. Can you do it? Right? I'll tell you, as a regional vice president who doesn't have very many securities people, like we have Cass and Leah, and that are fully securities licensed at this point. Like, I want to give business to people who are fully securities licensed, right? Like, I want, like, once my mom has her 63, I would much rather give her the kitchen table to run than somebody who only has a life insurance license. Why? Because she's able to do the full job on that appointment if it's required, and she can talk about it, right? Like that's the big thing. So you need to build field trainers to get them licensed. Number 4, never bring your new recruits to a meeting first. Always meet with a kitchen table, or meet at the kitchen table, or meet one-on-one on Zoom first. Okay. This doesn't super apply to us anymore. I think this is more talking about like op meetings and stuff, which we don't necessarily do that. But the principle is still the same. Like we used to have people just bring guests to Friday Night Live for like no reason at all. I don't know why or when that started. And like we had to put a hard stop on that because they didn't know what they were showing up to. And so there was no expectation, and they're expecting like a job interview, and it's a training on how to build a business for people that know what they're there for. Yeah, right. They're like, I'm not drinking your Kool-Aid. Get out of here with this. Right. They're like, this, I don't know what this is. Right. There was a weird like expectation of like, okay, what exactly is happening? And so meet with them one-on-one first and see if they're a good fit for the culture. If they are, bring them in and then bring them to the meeting. Right. Like I have no issue inviting Dion, a guest, to a Friday Night Live if I met with them and they can't do their IBA till next week. Like, sweet, why don't you hop on training and like see the culture, see what we do? Here's the other reason why they're going to see me train in front of 100 people. And they're like, oh, the guy that I was talking to is actually someone who's like training all these people. Like, I'm going to work with that guy. That's why you need to be working to get yourself speaking on the meetings, even on panels, even doing recognition or announcements. Like, that might sound silly to you. You're like, why would I want to do that? Because your people see you, right? Your people see you in front of the room. Number 5, never send your new recruits to outside trainers. It's your responsibility to train new recruits. Dana, you and I talked about this for like 45 minutes the other night. This idea, right? Like, Dana's like, how do I do all this? I don't have so much appointments. I got the kids and Malcolm's out of town and this and that. And I'm trying to sell the house and she's building a farm and raising 400 cows and 17 kids. Like, she's got all this stuff. I'm just joking. She's got a bunch of kids. That's it. But nonetheless, it's overwhelming at times, right? You're like, how am I supposed to train all these people? Well, when you do the right things and you do all these other things we talked about, you aren't the one that has to do all of that, right? You can give it to somebody else and get them paid and get you paid, right? And this is, I'm going to share my whiteboard really fast and draw something for you. Jerome, I'll be done in 4 minutes, okay? Is that cool? Jerome's going to kick me out. So if I, so think about it like this, right? If I recruited, where are my shapes? There they are. Okay. So you got 2 sides that you could do. One, I could recruit 10 people and I really only have probably time to train like 4. So like train 4 and I'll get 1 to district leader, right? But if I, on the other side of this coin here, if I have 2 field trainers, this will make sense, I promise. So if I have 2 division leaders and I'm super busy, so if I train 4 and I get 1 to district, let's say on this side, let's just say I get 5K in premium. I make the commission off that 5K. Let's say I'm a regional leader, that's 80%. So I make 4 grand off this and then the advances. So I make about 3 grand that month. So I have like 3K in cash. But I did all of it, right? But check this out, Leah. If I recruit 10 people and let's say I give 2 here and 2 here, and then I train 6, right? I'm working with 6 of them. My load is about the same, right? So, okay, whatever. We'll say I train 4 and 2 quit. God bless, whatever. You get the point. So if I train my 4 and I get the same results out of my 4 that I train, I'm still going to get my 3K in cash flow. But check this out, Leah. If I, with this person, let's say this person's a district leader and they know what to do. They can run kitchen tables and this person can get 2 life apps out of these 2 people. That's 2K in premium. And if I'm splitting them on it because I generated the business. So Leah, I give you this person. They're not licensed. You train them, split me on the sales. Why would I do that? I found them, right? I'm giving you my person to train. So I split you on the sales. That's 1,000 in premium. As a regional leader, that's 800 in premium, roughly, or sorry, 800 in advances, or 800 in cash, but 600 in advances. And if that happens on both sides of this thing here, I just increased my cash flow by $1,200 a month, and my workload stayed exactly the same. And we got better at training collectively as a group. Does that make sense? So our conversion through the team is a higher conversion rate of people getting in the field and people setting and running appointments, because let's face it, like most of us are not good enough to train 10 people at a time. Like your focus isn't there, your skill set's not quite there yet, and don't let that stop you from recruiting people. But if you have a couple field trainers you can dump off to, you can take some splits on that while they're not licensed, and that cash flow rolls, you still override that. I didn't even factor in the 30% override on that. So there's another 400, 500 bucks in override that you get, right? So now you're about 2 grand up on the same volume and you have way more premium. Now you're pre-qualifying for RVP, Dion. Why? Because you're getting your team fed, even part-time. They're still making a little bit of money. They should still be doing all that stuff too, but you're equipping other people to go out and build a team, right? You're teaching them how to do that. Number five, sorry, that was the outside field trainer thing. So never send your people to outside field trainers. Number five, it's your responsibility to train them. Just because it's my responsibility for them to be trained doesn't mean I have to be the one training. Okay, it's my responsibility to build a system that trains people. Number six, never stop training and encouraging a stud until they get to an RVP. RVP is the starting line. This is another thing, limiting belief, I think, that a lot of people have in Primerica. Every regional vice president that you ever promote will not always be overly coachable. They won't always do everything that you say. Like, look at me and Nate. Like, I was not coachable to Nate at all for 2 years, 3 years. Right? I was like doing my own thing. I didn't want to work with him. I didn't want to talk to him at all. And part of that was how I was brought up in the base shop. But now we're working together and his business is growing and our business is growing. And it's a win-win, right? When you get in step with your regional vice president and you're going through the process with your leader, even at regional vice president, things are better. There's a team environment that you have there. Right. And so, like, I understand that some of you all don't have that exact situation happening right now. Well, guess what? Jerome, Mel, Taylor, and I are here for you to win. We're going to help you do that. Cass wants you to win still, too. Right. But just plug into whoever's showing up. Right. Like, y'all know how to build a team. You know what to do. Let us help you. Right. Plug in. We're going to keep encouraging you until you're a regional vice president. Why? Never stop encouraging a stud until they get to RVP. Don't matter where they're at in your business. Right. So, guys, hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully you guys are liking going through this book. I am. I love this book. This book is going to change your business if you walk through it all the way. We want you guys to win. Exactly what Mel said. Like, we want you to win. We want you to be successful. Like, selfishly, because it helps financially, obviously. But also, we want you to win. We want you to make money. Right? We want you to be the one that's building your business. We want you to have success here. So that's all I got for you. Part-timers, get out of here. We love you. Go put in the Telegram how many people you have on training tomorrow and how many appointments are you setting today. I want everybody on part-timers, set your 2 today. No excuses. No bullshit. Set your 2. Make it happen. Get it done. All right, go make it happen. Do it today. We love you guys. Get out of here. Jerome, over to you. Sorry, I was 3 minutes over. My bad.
What up? Good job, Daniel. What am I doing today? We're doing numbers today?
Yes.
Good, good. All right.
He's very prepared.
I'm very prepared, Daniel, to go over people's
Did you
numbers.
think you were doing part-timers? Because I thought I was doing full-time.
Man, I didn't know who was speaking this morning.
Oh.
I asked Mel at like 5:02, like, who's talking this morning?
I was
she was
fully
like,
prepared to go through the
We're doing
numbers.
full timers, bro. All right, let's do some. We'll go through numbers. That's okay, because the numbers really didn't change much.
Right.
Yes, I don't think they did, but we can check. Who wants to share their numbers this morning? Any of you? Dion's talking, but I cannot hear Dion.
Yeah, Dion, check your microphone input on your Zoom. Maybe leave and come back.
How about that?
There you go.
Yeah, okay, go ahead, Dion.
What do you want to know about my numbers? I'm happy to share my numbers.
All right, so so what was your goal last month? So the month is closed out, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So we're in a new month, but because we just started the month, let's do this. What was your goal last month?
My goal for a team was 10 by 10.
10 by 10. Okay. And where'd you finish that team last month?
2 by 3,500.
2 by 3,500. All right. So go to 10 by 10. 2 by 3. So I'm gonna take you guys through kind of and I don't do this as well as I need to be doing. But I used to do this a ton to hit my goal. See, and I've done this, and I kind of did this before with you guys, but we'll do it again. See, I will break my goal down, and I want to see it day by day, and I will want to track it day by day. So Dion, tell me this: in the month of February, is your goal 10 by 10 still?
Yes.
Okay, so 10 by 10 team. What is your average transaction, like life insurance transaction size?
Right. 800 to 1,000 right in there. We'll call it
Okay.
9.
Okay, so let's say let's say that'll take you 10 apps then. Based on that, we'll play more on the 1,000 side. So you need 20 transactions, right?
Yeah.
In the month of how many days? Primerica days that count towards February production. How many days are in the month of February?
Oh, geez. 28,
28.
29.
Yep. It's
No,
28.
yeah, 28.
28. Yep. Even though we lost, we actually lost 3 days at the beginning of the month, right?
Right.
Because the month actually started on the 4th. However, the first falls on a weekend. March 1st falls on a weekend. So we get those days back. So it's 28 days. Can you unplug my laptop for me, please? It's 28 days in a month. So here's what I usually do. You can do this a number of ways. So I would do 10 recruits divided by 28 is 0.35. Let's call it 0.38 or 36. And then let's do 10. So 10 life apps divided by, 10,000. Do 10,000. 10,000 divided by 28. And that's 357 or 358. So it looks like every 3 days you need to have a recruit come in. One recruit. And every 3 days you need to be at about 1,000 in premium. A little over. Right? So every 3 days you need to be at about 1,100 in premium. And I would just watch that, and I would do it like I would do this every day. Right? So every day, so that would be, so technically that 0.36 by 358 in premium, that would be day one.
Yeah.
So at the end of day one, I will be monitoring to see, hey, where am I at on that? Actually,
Right.
I'll show you guys. Like I started this for myself on my personal goal. So I got a personal goal to do 3 by 5,000 and 10 investment transactions. So let me show you guys. In the bottom, you can see that. In the bottom left-hand corner of my planner, you guys can see that. Huh? Everybody's blind. I can see it. So I have my goal, and then I have where I need to be at the end of day one. Right? And then every day day 2 where I need to be, day 3 where I need to be, day 4 where I need to be, day 5 where I need to be. And I see it and I write it out every day. Okay. So then you kind of try it. For me, and this is how I've always, you can ask Mel, like I remember having a conversation with Josh and Kayla Genie. I just visualize things differently. And this might not work as well for you as it did for me. You might need to do something different, but I'm just giving you a thought on what I did. When I was averaging, 10, 11,000, 12,000 in personal premium, this is how I did it. Right? I would just break it down to day to day. I can do day to day. Right? They'd be like, oh, well, just get to the, like I remember having a conversation with Kayla. She was like, well, hey, just do it every 3 or 4 days or 5 days. I'm like, nope, like that doesn't work for me. Like I need to see it every day. Let me see it day to day. And if I can stay ahead on a day, like that just worked for me. If I can get a little small victory. Also, here's another thing that worked for me is just psychology, right? Of people, understanding people and yourself. If I got behind but it wasn't a large number, I still felt like I could accomplish it. Let's be honest. Sometimes people get behind on stuff, and the number looks so large you feel defeated. Yes or yes? Has anybody ever experienced this before? You like, gosh, I got to do like so. Let's say you're going for you're like you. Let's say you know you're going that you want to hit 10,000. It's halfway through the month. You're only at 4,000. You're like, gosh, I got to do 6,000, and you keep saying, oh, I got to do 6,000. But let's say, you're halfway through the month. It's 16. It's 16 days left. I mean, you turn that 6,000 into you divide it. It's only $375 in premium a day. So you go from like, gosh, I got to do 6,000. You think like, man, that's a big number. I've never done that in 16 days before. That's a large number, right? And you kind of get defeated. But then if you break it down, that's $375 a day. You're like, okay, I can do $375 a day. And like you kind of trick yourself, but it's the same 6,000 over the 16-day time frame. But you can just see yourself doing the 375 a day, right? So that's kind of I used to play this game like crazy, Dion. Play this game like crazy to hit my numbers. So that's number one. So I would encourage every last one of you. Karen, what's your goal for the month? Now, Dion, well, one second before we move on. Dion, how many outside of you, how many producing life agents do you have?
I have one right now who's working and putting an effort in to work the business.
One. Okay. So your goal is 10 by 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would contact that person and I ask them what their goal is for the month of February. If you haven't already, have you done that already?
Yeah, we got to get them to district. They're a senior rep.
So what's your district promotion guidelines?
3 by 2,500.
Okay. So you're on the company guidelines.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so now you got some leverage on that. So that means another 7 by 7,500 needs to come outside that person. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're working like crazy because you only got the one. You got any brand new teammates that you're trading right now? Excuse me. Gosh.
I got one who starts installs. I'll be reaching out to her today because we got to get her policy on her and her boyfriend because they know they need it. They're just dragging their feet.
Okay. All right. So let's act like that doesn't exist right now.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So perfect. So you got 3 by 2,500 that you can leverage. One of the things that Ian used to tell us to do is he would say, "Hey, I would cut that goal in half for your person." Right? So let's say maybe they're going to bring in, let's call it 1 by 1,500. Then you assume that the rest needs to come outside of them. So he was always cut the goal in half of the people that weren't you. They're not full-time, not serious part-timers, not as committed. Okay. So that's kind of on Dion's numbers. There was one other thing I wanted to cover there. I drew a brain fart. Oh yeah, so the goal's 10 by 10. Last month you did 2 by 3,500.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of had like a conversation like this with Calvin and Sierra. Because I actually use Calvin and Sierra right now. So Calvin and Sierra had a goal of at least 7 by 7,500 last month. Regional leader contract. What'd you guys finish at, Sierra?
28 by 10, well, 10 by 28.
So 10 by 28, right? Where does Cal? So they check the box on the recruiting go, right? So obviously we need premium. So when you're and that the conversation I have with Calvin and Sierra is, and this is why I really said doing your docs and doing both sides of your docs and actually paying attention to your business is important. Where was Calvin and Sierra's issue at last month on their go? Anybody can answer.
Premium, personal premium.
Yep, Sierra knew the answer. Correct, because we had a conversation. Personal premium, personal premium. So what I started talking to Sierra about was like, hey, how often are you guys, you and Calvin, setting client-based appointments, personal client-based appointments that you found that you generated, right? And so that answer was, what was the answer, Sierra?
A big goose egg.
You said what?
I said a big goose egg, 0.
You say, oh, got you. I thought you was speaking another language. I'm like, she got her said something in Spanish. Was that bad? All right, good. Okay. So they were barely setting. So I challenged Sierra. I said, I want, and Calvin, I said, I want you guys every day. You need to set at least 1 or 2 personal KTs. Right? You just set 1 or 2 personal KTs. Hear me right though. I don't stop doing what you're doing though. In addition to what you're doing, you need to set 1 or 2 personal KTs. So in your business, Dion, back to you. In your business, what I don't know. I mean, we haven't had a whole conversation, Dion. But what do you need to be doing? Here's the deal. Most of the times, us as leaders, we know what we need to be doing. Right? Like so last month, I got 3 directs and I did I think it was like 3,200 in personal premium and almost 30,000 in securities. So I hit my goal on directs. I missed my goal on premium by 2,000 and I missed my goal. I wanted to get 10. I think my goal was it was to get 10 investment clients. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 6 investment clients. So I missed 4. So what does Jerome need to do in my business? Because I know my business, and I had this had this conversation with Sierra because I was very transparent with her about my own business. Right? I need to get more. I need to have more. I need to generate more leads. Right? I know I need to fill my funnel. Right? If I'm getting a new contacts, getting my 3 to 5 new contacts every day like I'm supposed to, I'll hit my goal. Right, because I hit my goal. I almost hit my goal last month off very little. I hit my recruiting goal. I missed my premium goal by 2,000. I missed my investment goal by 4 clients. Right? Why did I miss that? Not generating enough leads up front. Why did Sierra miss her probably miss her 7,500 goal? Not enough personal KTs right now. Right? So you have to be able to identify what stopped you from here you go. So let's go, Karen. Karen, what was your goal last month, and where did you finish up at?
Excuse me, 15 by 10, and my team was 18 by 6'3",
Okay,
6307.
6307. All right, so you're not far off from hitting your goal. You actually surpassed your recruiting goal, and then you came up a little short on the premium goal. So tell me, Karen, what do you need to work on within your business
Well, I need to work on my direct recruiting because I had 0 direct recruits last night. I was a goose egg on that. They were all team. And then, oh, and I need to set personal KTs. I know that. That's where
Okay.
usually my personal ones are from field training.
Okay.
I did have one that was not this month, but yeah, so I need to set more. So I do a lot. I'm trying to just do a lot of I know what I need to do, but like just even networking, trying to have networking appointments so that I can introduce it to people and then possibly bring it up ask them what they have, so I can work on getting my direct KTs.
How much did you do in personal premium last month?
4737, 4,737.
Okay. So I am gonna focus on directs, on recruiting. So with that being said, because listen, I know a lot of guys in business that they never did uh or rarely did more than 5,000 in personal premium in a month. And they're $1 million earners. Right? So they got good. What they got good at was getting people to district and getting them off independently. Getting them to district, getting them off independently, right? Like Franco Greco up in Canada? Yeah, I think he just crossed over 1 million. Like he's never done more than 5,000 in personal premium. Right? So doing 4,737 in personal premium is you're getting personal premium done. Like Daniel's talking about trying to. Yep. So, but let's talk about recruiting though. How many personal recruiting appointments would you say you ran last month?
Probably about 25. Not as many as I needed to.
25?
Obviously not a good close rate.
So that's you kind of hitting my points here. So when you have 0 of something, it's either you got one of 2 issues, right? Number one is could be an activity issue, right? Number 2 is it could be a skill set issue. Okay. I don't think you're saying you had 25, you ran 25 or you had 25?
I ran 25. I had, well, no, I don't know where those numbers are. I ran at 25, I believe, but some of them were the video only. So I didn't, if I consider that running them too. I did some like without the video, but sometimes the video people say no after
Okay.
the video, which saves time, right? But I need to do more. I know I
Okay.
need to do, when I have time, I want to, like
So
the other day I didn't send the video. I just talked to them and like the old way, right?
All right, so I know. So you're saying you ran 25 and that's including the video. Like that's like people watching the video?
Right. When
So I would
I run 25 is with video or talking or that. So yeah.
so you probably have 50 appointments then. And the videos, so it's my thought, and then you can chime in on this if you want to. I wouldn't count, I don't count anything that I didn't personally sit on. Me and you met together as I ran it. If that makes sense. The video is not better than me. Does that make sense? Like the video can't answer questions, the video can't give extended responses, etc. I wouldn't necessarily count the video as a ran appointment.
Probably about half the video ones I also get on afterwards because then they have more questions and I can talk to them. So probably about half of those. I don't know
This is
the
gonna be a
exact-
little bit different with you with working with you, Karen, because we don't Um, we don't show the same video. We don't show the video that shows all like how to cover all the background checks and stuff. Is that the video you guys show that covers all the money, all that jazz?
Yes.
Okay. Well, because what we experience in our market, when I say we, me, Calvin, Dave Pepper, our complete ratio went to the dumpster after showing that video with that shows all the pay and stuff, and the what they're paying. I mean, what the how much it costs to get started. Like I stopped Calvin and Sierra from showing the video, and they double-digit recruited the very next month. So that's just my thought on that.
Isn't there another video too that goes, there's a client.
Yeah, the financial house video that we show. So, but what I'm getting at is, so you saying you had 0 directs, but you ran 25 appointments. So if you ran 25 and had 0, what issue would you guys say Karen has? You can say it out loud, type it in the chat. But I'm not doing, and I'm just
On market?
process warm market. I'm gonna say probably the skill process issue, right? And it could be, and here's another thing, it could be, a lot of people think, oh, it might just be on the appointment. No, it could be a skill process issue of how you're setting and getting the appointment also, right? Like my guy Dan Bird, I'm gonna say his name out loud, I don't care, right? Bro has a skills process issue of getting appointments. How do I know? Because we run very few of his appointments, and we don't run them, or if we run them, like he doesn't close most of them, right? So, but why is that? His upfront process of he's saying all type of crazy shit to him, right? Like, for lack of better words, that's exactly what's going on, right? So he has a skill issue up front. Like, he got them some way other than through a process. So when that's the case, it's tough to have them come out on the back end of that funnel as a recruit. Does that make sense? So I'm going to say yours is there's some form of skill process, because you said you ran 25 of them. So yours is, and yours is kind of tough to tell because you said you counted half of the videos. Half of them are video. So I can't really tell if it's if it's a video thing or an appointment thing. Right? So, but what I'm trying to teach you guys to do right now is, you're running a business, and you have to audit and critique your business. You can't just keep running and not having anything happen, and just and just like running, like not stopping to think like, okay, what am I doing wrong? What like, how can I fix the process? And there's pros and cons to that, by the way. Like I am in a pro to it is you can do less and get more. Like Dan and I can do less and get more. Right? Then I'll go and write 10,000 in personal premium and not be over 15 on the docs once. Right? Because if I really honed in and tuned in, right? So that's the pro side of that. The con side of that is where I'm at right now. Oh, Dion, I can go do 5,000, get 30,000 in securities, make some good money, and not be over 15 on the docs. But I won't do any building there though. So there is a con to that. But what I want you guys to understand is I know exactly why though. And I want you to know exactly why. That's what I want to say there. I want you to know, looking like, who put that in the chat? Looking like Bino and Henry. I cannot, right? That's wild. That's wild. But I want you to know exactly why. As a full-timer, as a person that's a business owner, you gotta know exactly why. You can't beat the numbers, and the number I can't, what's the saying? The numbers can't beat you. Yeah, well, the numbers can beat you if you don't understand them. Right? They'll beat you up against the head all day, right? Saying, hey, I'm here, you're just not running me. So you gotta understand your business. So that's all I got time. I won't go through anybody else. I didn't think it'd be worth pulling up the numbers. I don't think they've changed much. But I wanted you guys to kind of understand, like when we ask you to do the docs and stuff, it's not like, hey, so we can be all over you and checking in on you, and that's a part of it. But really what we want you to do is start monitoring your business. That's why it's important to do both sides of the docs. Right? That's why it's important to fill in all the numbers. Right? Like you should be filling in your contacts. Why? So you can see if you're on track with getting your 3 to 5 new contacts every day, like you should be as a full-time person. And where are you at on that? Right? Like it's a third day of the month. You should be at anywhere from 9 to 15 new contacts. Most of you didn't know it was the third day of the month. You just out here playing. Right? Like you gotta, like these things. If you go to any business, any corporation, right? You got somebody in a department. They're tracking the numbers on a day-to-day basis. Guess who aren't? Guess who aren't tracking the numbers on a day-to-day basis? Guess who don't care about the numbers on a day-to-day basis? Ding, ding, ding. Employees. Well, if you want to continue to be an employee, don't track your numbers. God bless you. Don't track them. But if you like, hey, I want to be a boss, I want to run the show. Like I had this whole conversation with a person before. They didn't want to do docs. Like, all right, that's cool. Be an employee then. I'm an employee. I'm running a show. And I'm like, no, you're an employee because employees don't do docs. They show up and clock in and do the work that's created for them. Where people that are bosses, we're tracking. You're tracking all this stuff. I can go to the docs right now. Most of you don't fill out your attendance. So you don't know how many people you average in the training. That's why you don't average no sales. Right? Like you should, if I put you to the side and say, hey, how many people are you averaging in training? You should be able to tell me. Why is that? Because you know that tracking that average leads to transactions. Faces on the Zoom screen, right, equals transactions on a monthly basis. We know that. That's gonna show me your bare minimum transactions on a monthly basis. And then the crap lines up. By the way, last month, we recruited 13 people. We did 6 life insurance transactions. I think we did in the base shop like 10 investment transactions. Guess how many people we averaged training? 21. 21. 13, 19, 20, 29. We did 29 transactions last month. What should have been the bare minimum line there? 21. So you got to know these things. We're running a business, and then you put systems and processes in places to track it and improve it. To track it and improve it. Docs track it. When we do exercises like this is a part of helping improve the process. So hopefully that was helpful this morning. I don't know if that's what Dan wanted me to go over, but thumbs up. All right, good. I'm good. I'm off the hook. Because I was like, who talks this morning, Dan? Right. So track your business. Pay attention to your business. Right. I want to hear what you guys are closing today and where you'll have your docs at tomorrow. So what you're closing today, where you'll have your docs at tomorrow. Let me refresh this. All right. All right. Calvin and Sierra, 118.
Got 28 falling off today, so we're gonna try to maintain.
All right. Thank you. Good stuff. Dan and Taylor, 61.
I have 5 recruits, 2 KTs, and 1 orientation, and we'll be at 63.
All right. Thank you very much. I am next. I have, oh dang, sorry. What's that, Thursday? Yep. I got 2 by, let me see, 1 by 0 today, and a few orientations and a 1-to-1. Tomorrow I'll grow again. We'll shoot for 20 tomorrow. Leah, 15.
I have 4 coming off today, coaching, training, a KT and a carryback to change a policy for a client, and then gonna just try to maintain today.
All right, thank you. Good job on growing. Dana, 11.
1 client experience appointment, 1 recruit, and 1 KT. I want to get up to 15 by tomorrow.
You got it. Go do it. Thank you. Dion, good
Yeah.
move. 7.
Thanks. 2 recruits and investment appointment falling off today. I want to get up to 10 by tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, sir. And Karen.
A recruit and a carry back today, and I need to set 7.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Hey, let's go work today.